Welcome to Out of the Box from Hudson County Community College. Each month, we will be joined by members of the community, as well as the college's faculty, staff, and students for timely discussions about education, people, programs, events, issues, and solutions that affect the education and enrichment of the women and men of Hudson County. I'm Christopher Manos, your host and moderator for these podcasts. Joining me today for a discussion about advanced manufacturing and our exciting new partnership with Eastern Millwork are Hudson County Community College President, Dr. Chris Reber, Hudson County Community College Dean of Instruction, John Marlin, the Dean of Continuing Education, Lori Margolin, and Eastern Millwork President and owner, Andrew Campbell. Dr. Reber, can you tell us a little bit about how manufacturing and education go together?
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks so much. It's a wonderful partnership. You know, it's a community college that takes the word community in our title very seriously. Our mission is to help address community needs, and manufacturing has always been hugely important to the nation's economy, as we all know. This sector pays significantly higher wages than most. It has been instrumental to the growth of the nation's economy, the Industrial Revolution. But today, the needs in manufacturing are really different and are becoming increasingly technical. And there's a misconception that manufacturing is still a dirty industry and perhaps not a very attractive career path, when in fact, in so many cases, and what we're talking about today is a great example, it's really clean, high-tech, highly unique, artistic. It is a very exciting career path, and the opportunities for students are fundamental. So therefore, we want to add value to advanced manufacturing as those needs present themselves in Hudson County because there are very good jobs, career opportunities, and an opportunity to really impact the region, and we want to partner with others to help make that happen.
That's awesome. I'd like to introduce Dr. Marlin. Dr. Marlin, can you tell us a little bit about the Advanced Manufacturing Program and the Associate in Applied Science degrees?
Sure. Well, as Dr. Reber said, the nature of manufacturing is changing considerably. It used to be that when you went into a manufacturing job, you didn't need anything more than a high school degree. But manufacturing has become so technological and so automated that you can't really get a good paying manufacturing job anymore without at least an associate's degree. So in these firms that do advanced manufacturing, you need people who can program these machines, people who can troubleshoot them, people who can assemble and reassemble them for different needs, and of course, people who can repair them as well. And those are the kinds of things that we teach people in the advanced manufacturing program. And you also have to know some science. I mean, you have to understand the chemical properties or the material properties, say, of wood, in this case working with a woodworking firm. We also, of course, as part of the degree, make sure that students learn all of those really durable skills that are necessary for any sort of job. So to be able to solve problems, to be able to communicate clearly both in speech and in writing, the ability to reason quantitatively and just reason in general to sound conclusions. So that's all part of the program. It actually is available for any student who's interested in going on to a career in manufacturing, and there are pathways in it to engineering technology degrees and even higher level degrees at some of our partner universities.
And Dr. Marlin, can you share some of your thoughts about the STEM program and how that helps students get to some of the higher universities?
Yeah, our STEM program it has been growing. We're very, very proud of it. We just moved into a new facility. It's 6 stories tall. It has about 3.5 times the lab capacity that we used to have on Journal Square, and already we're busting at the seams. We have so many students who want to study STEM with us. Of course, we teach all the traditional disciplines, biology, chemistry, computer science, engineering, and our students move on to just the greatest opportunities. We've had students recently transfer to top-level universities. I mean, many go to nearby New Jersey Institute of Technology, which is a great school. But others have gone to nationally known schools like Purdue, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins. And so I think this has given our college a really fine reputation for turning out quality graduates.
That's excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the professors who are mentors for the students?
Well, here's one of the great things about coming to Hudson for an education. If you were to go to a larger university, say a state university, and you're to walk into your first chemistry class, there'd be 200 students in that class with you. And you'd go into a lab, and your lab leader would probably be a graduate student who's just learning how to teach. If you come to school at Hudson for a STEM education, the biggest class you're going to be in is 24 students, and you're going to have a professional instructor who's got a full degree and a lot of experience. And some of these instructors have great stories. We have one who's done a postdoctoral research at Yale University. Another did all of the computer programming for the beginning of India's space program. And then one who works particularly in advanced manufacturing has patents on a number of products that relate to renewability and sustainability, and he's actually now involving students in his research to further those.
Well, if I might chime in, John, and for our listeners, our STEM building that John mentioned is absolutely state-of-the-art. It is unrivaled by any 2 or 4 year institution. The equipment, the spaces are phenomenal, and it's also inspirational. It's a very attractive, comfortable building to be in. So when you start to put these pieces together, small classes, distinguished faculty, I might add, who know students on a first-name basis, state-of-the-art facilities, it's a powerful experience. But if I might, I'd like to ask Andrew Campbell to now talk a bit about how his company has partnered with the college and how together we're able to achieve what are, frankly, very impressive goals and a vision of his organization.
I think we're most like other manufacturers. The technology is constantly changing, and our workforce has to be very specifically trained. So, as is the custom in Europe, the integration of business with education is imperative for this to be successful. We found a great partner in Hudson County that they were flexible to move the way in which the traditional teaching is provided into a system that we can integrate into our business operation. And for quite a while, we've been working on this for 5 years. It's taken some time to find the right partners in education that will think outside the box.
Mm-hmm. And could you, Andrew, talk a little bit about your product and your customers and how students can actually work with those projects?
Well, we are what they call an architectural woodwork contractor. We fulfill the 6400 spec section of construction, which is probably known as millwork. So it's all the wood, custom wood-made doors, panels, desks, cabinets in a construction sequence. We manufacture in Jersey City, and our ability to do that is solely based on technology. And I would describe us as a technology company that happens to be in wood. We have worked for large Fortune 500 companies building out their office space. We fit out the headquarters for the New York Times. We built Jazz at Lincoln Center, Signature Theater. We recently just completed a big performing arts center for Princeton University. And we're actually on our 5th building. We're fitting out for Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital, where we act also as their in-house millwork consultant.
So if you think about this for a moment, for a student, having the opportunity to get hands-on experience as an apprentice while being paid, and I know we're going to get into that in a little while, and work on projects of that magnitude and sophistication is really exciting. And when I took the tour of Eastern Millwork, I was really struck by how there's a fusion of engineering and technical work with artistry. And so on one level of the building, you've got employees that are actually designing products, and then they're sending that information downstairs, and you're actually seeing the products manufactured. And so, when we talk about STEAM, actually, when I think about Eastern Millwork, it's STEM rather. It's more like STEAM, because the artistry piece is very clear and very fundamental to the work you do. You're designing art through wood, I believe.
Dean Margolin, can you tell us a little bit about how the relationship came out between Eastern Millwork and Hudson County Community College?
Sure. We believe, as Dr. Reber said, a community is in our name, and part of that community is the business community, and we look to form partnerships that will result in success for our students. And in Eastern Millwork and Andrew, we found a great partner. We were both interested in education and furthering the career of those students. So it just worked well right from the beginning. After we met, we talk about career opportunities. He was looking for people who could learn his business, and we started developing a plan for an apprenticeship program, which is named Holztechnik, which is German for wood technology. And we use that name because we're basing the program on the German model of dual education.
What are some of the benefits that the apprenticeships offer to students?
There are many. Very innovative in their features of the program. Andrew, do you want to talk a little bit about those?
So this program was designed to recruit, higher advanced kids that have options, because we need to build a workforce that can then propel our business forward. We are only limited right now by human capital, and that's become mission one, to find a strategy to build a pipeline to supply that. This particular program has two educational components. It's Hudson County, and it's also with Pittsburgh State that's going to deliver a specific woodwork engineering. So the candidates are going to be hired at the end of their high school term. They're going to be paid $24,500 a year. They get our full benefits. Those benefits are 100% paid by us. There's no matching contribution. And they will be in a category of benefits that will be known as Cadillac Plan, which is a very high level of benefits. They will start the month of July at Hudson County School of Technology in Secaucus, where we have engaged the Wood Lab to teach them very basic level woodworking. And this would not be what we would do in our shop, but it's to give them the tactile of the material and a very fundamental understanding of woodworking. Again, this is outside of, they have equipment we don't even have because it's a different approach to woodwork, but it's going to give them the raw understanding that everybody in our operation is at their core a carpenter. Once they get into the actual session, which will start in September, they will be going to Hudson County on Friday and receiving the Hudson County end of the curriculum. And they'll also have the access to the social aspect of being at school, which we feel is very important for them. We have then also built a classroom in our facility that's wired up two-way. And the school in Pittsburgh, Kansas, that teaches a woodwork science bachelor's degree will be delivering the curriculum we put together with them that will culminate in a bachelor's degree after 5 years. So they'll be receiving an associate's from Hudson County in 4 years and a bachelor's degree from Pittsburgh State in 5 years. Mm-hmm. And just one further thing to note, this situation, we ran a couple of quick dynamics financially for these people, and we looked at a traditional mechanical engineering degree and where they would be financially at 10 years and where our candidates will be. And our candidates will be conservatively $500,000 ahead financially than someone that took the traditional route.
So if I could just note, just piggybacking on that, look at how these pieces are coming together, and it's all happening through partnerships. So students are going to be able to be salaried upon entry into the program. They're going to earn a salary while they are studying, and there are going to be benchmarks that allow that salary to go up. I think it's the end of 4 years. Not only will they have an associate degree without any college debt, they will then be bumped up to a salary in the $70,000 range.
They'll be at a level E4 to us, and it's $70,000 after 4 years of the education. And then they'll have the mobility to move within our enterprise into sales and estimating, project management if they're more communicative and want to be out in the field, further go up to become a master engineer or go into code writing and robotics.
And then, oh, by the way, in 1 more year, they'll have a bachelor's degree from Pittsburgh, Kansas. So all of our credits that include the technical apprenticeship programming that they have done in their career, transfer to Pittsburgh. In one more year, they have a bachelor's degree, and then they're on a pathway, if they choose in the future, to pursue cognate master's, graduate degrees. The possibilities are almost limitless, and it is all happening because we've come together. We've come together with a company, and by way of partnership, we can each add value for the student, and we've come together with a 4-year institution, and as a result, the opportunities are exponentially greater than they would be if only one of us was trying to do this on our own.
Dean Margolin, how does the recruitment process play into all of this?
Yeah, good question. So the Eastern Millwork is looking for individuals who have graduated from high school. So what we've done is we've worked together to recruit at Hudson County high schools, individuals who are in their senior year, and we let them know about the program. We let them know about the benefits as well as what's involved in the work, and there is an online application that they can fill out in order to be eligible for this program, and then they would go through the process of having that application reviewed. And there are a number of different steps. There's an information session at Eastern Millwork, so they really understand what it is they're getting involved in potentially. There's an interview, a mechanical aptitude test, and some real in-depth look at the type of work, because it is a commitment to this program. It's not just a let me do it for a few months and see if I like it. So we're in the midst of that process right now. And at the end of that process, as Andrew mentioned, it would be starting in July with the wood shop, and at the same time they would be coming to Hudson County Community College and being enrolled in a college success class here in July, which will be tailored specifically for this apprenticeship group.
Well, let me also mention that we've been talking a lot about the opportunities of advanced manufacturing, and they are limitless, but a few statistics that I think are really interesting. For every dollar spent on manufacturing in the nation, it's estimated that $1.37 is generated for the economy of the region, and for every 100 jobs created in manufacturing, there are an additional 250 jobs created in other sectors. So it's powerful not only for the students, but it's powerful for the region. We're an urban community college. Eastern Millwork is an urban manufacturer, and together we can help to use the dynamics of the numbers to the advantage of Hudson County and the region. One of the really other interesting facts is there are nearly 3.5 million manufacturing jobs being created in the country right now, but it's estimated that 2 million or more are going to go unfilled because the training is not adequate in order to fill those jobs. And that's where the partnership makes perfect
very
sense.
Important. I think there's definitely a misnomer about manufacturing in America. If you track industrial production year on year, it grows even through recessions. On average, a manufacturing job will pay 20% more than a similar non-manufacturing job. And that more and more companies are recognizing the value of manufacturing in America. So what was once the venue of offshoring now is becoming reshoring. And though you kind of hear the factories that do move away and they close down, you don't often hear about the ones that develop. BMW's biggest factory in the entire world is in South Carolina. In my world, IKEA has developed a big multi-factory campus in Virginia. Not too far where American Household Furniture was seeded, and often seeded now to China. So you have other people looking at how you use technology in making things, recognizing we have a great market and we have resources and a stable place to do business. All those fundamentals lead people to America, so there's becoming more and more pressure on the jobs needed in manufacturing, and yet I think the connotation is that manufacturing is dissipating and the jobs are not of quality and not even available.
Mm-hmm.
To add to the conversation, I would like to mention that this year there will be 4 apprentices hired, but we will continue this program each year thereafter, and the plan is to expand it to other businesses. Andrew, I don't know if you want to talk about other businesses who might be interested in this model.
Sure, we have friendly competitors right in New Jersey that would are interested in participating, as well as other competitors around the country that want to model a program after ours, and ultimately they would integrate. There was conversations in California and in Florida at this point, and what's interesting about this, the component that's delivered by Pittsburgh is not online courses. It's remote learning. There's going to be a wired up classroom where the teaching is interactive to the students, and when the other California, Florida components are integrated, all the 4 classes will be integrated together. So you'd have a sort of community online, as it were, doing this kind of remote education piece.
Dr. Marlin, can you tell us a little bit about what you think the benefits of the program are?
Well, there are a number for the student. If they enroll in this program, they'll go to work for a salary and benefits 3 days a week. They'll have a day of on-the-job training. They'll have a day of coming to college. And after 4 years of doing that, they will have an associate's degree, an opportunity to get a bachelor's degree in another year. They will have a well-paying job in a high-tech, high-paying industry, and they will have no college debt. The other benefit is that industry leaders like Mr. Campbell here are going to have a trained workforce. And that's all because we're forming this kind of partnership here, which is really, I think, the future of this kind of education.
I couldn't agree more, John, and would like to comment about that. We are increasingly combining non-credit and credit instruction. We are infusing industry standards and training principles into our college curricula and bringing partners together like manufacturers, four-year institutions, technical facilities, so that for the student and for the employer and for the region, the outcomes are greater than the sum of the parts. Lori Margolin is actually heading a unit at the college that is increasingly bringing those pieces together, and it's extremely exciting and entrepreneurial.
Yes, it is. It's very exciting for me and my team as well, and we're looking to do what we're doing with Andrew in advanced manufacturing in the other sectors in our area as well. So hospitality, healthcare, and to really use this and replicate this model and customize it to the other sectors so that we can bring value to them and to our students.
I think it's important to add that the customization of education is the critical part. And what we found with Hudson County is a partner that would think out of the box and understand the need for that customization. That some parts of the education that we need have to come from the company, that they are too dynamic and too specific to really be delivered, but there is this tremendous need for the educational academic component of it. We just need kind of it delivered a little slightly differently and potentially delivered in a different way.
And I think that's a really great point about the responsibilities of both partners here, that the business, the company has a responsibility and education has a responsibility. And when we come together, the possibilities are really limitless in meeting needs. And it doesn't always work that way, where both sides see that they have a role to play.
And exactly, and it needs to be win-win-win fundamentally. The partners have to win, and then finally students have to win.
And the irony of this whole sort of system we put together related to the costs, we're spending the money anyway. So I think it's been said in the past when we began setting this, we started on this journey now almost 6 years ago, that if you build a program of quality, the companies will be glad to pay the costs because it's ultimately going to be cheaper than the way that we are forced to recruit today.
And really this customization of education is going to be the wave of the future, because it used to be that we could give someone sort of all the same classes, the same English, the same physics, and so on, and it was expected that they could graduate and simply go into a career like those that Andrew is supplying. But because things in the industry, various industries have gotten so technical and so specialized, it's very important that we in higher education go to our partners in industry, find out what competencies they need, and then start sculpting our technical programs around them.
Dr. Reber, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to say it's truly outside the box. And I thought it was great that Andrew used that terminology. And it's the wave of the future, and it's exciting.
Our thanks to Dr. Reber, Dr. Marlin, Dean Margolin, and Eastern Millwork President and owner Andrew Campbell for being part of today's discussion. And thank you for joining us for this session of Out of the Box, the monthly podcast from Hudson County Community College. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends and family and visit our website at hccc.edu.